Hello, world. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Microsoft Reactors, yet another episode on Microsoft Fabric with Rajendra. But before we start our today's event, let's go through our code of conduct. We are all here to learn together, participate together. So please be respectful of other people's views, understanding the differences, be kind and considerate in a way we all engage. Yes, we do encourage you all to participate. Please drop all your questions in the comment section and we'll pick it up from there. And yes, my name is Partharu. I'm the Events and Program Manager at Microsoft Reactor India. And I do welcome you all again. Let's bring Rajendra on stage. Hi, Rajendra. How are you?
Hi, Pat. How are you? I'm good.
I'm all well, kicking.
Yeah.
Fantastic topic today, data warehouses in MS Fabric. So, what
Correct.
do we
Yep.
got today?
Yeah, how it is going to work and what type of an activities we are going to do it at data warehouses. So I'll just try to give an as way of overview as well as a detailed explanation of activities.
Wow, great. Uh,
Yeah.
please, the floor is all yours.
Thank you. Let me share it. You able to see right my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't see PPT coming up. Yeah, no.
Now?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I would like to thank Microsoft Reactor team, Partharu, for giving me an opportunity to speak on this platform, Microsoft Reactor platform, and I'm much like happy to be share my views on this. Like I have got a chance to share my views on Microsoft Fabric. Last continuous two sessions with Fabric. I mean Microsoft Fabric with the data engineering activities and setting up activities too. And today we are going to discuss about data warehousing in Microsoft Fabric. So most of the organizations they are using the data warehouse concepts to implement a series like SAD2 or a 3 or whatever. So in an on-premises kind of an environment. But in Microsoft Fabric, how we are going to implement the data warehouse in Microsoft Fabric. So we are going to discuss thoroughly, and also I'm going to showcase to you with the three different ways of data extractions and which is going to store in the data warehouse. So this complete process you will get to know how it is getting stored and how it will be getting added as an new tables. We will get a clear idea about it. Before moving on to the topic and agenda, I'd just like to give myself an intro. I'm Rajendra, lead BI engineer at Bosch, and recently I have awarded as a super user in the Fabric community, Microsoft Fabric community, where I share my views as well as I share my knowledge through the Microsoft Fabric community forums. I'm 4x Microsoft certified trainer, MCT, and 14 plus years of experience in working with Microsoft tech stack. Started with the SSIS to currently MS Fabric, and I'm Power BI trainer as well as a mentor. And recently I have awarded as an BI business intelligence voice knowledge in the LinkedIn community. And I'm one of the organizer in Delhi Power BI user group. So if you want to get in touch with me, so below are my social networking sites, blogs on LinkedIn and YouTube channels too. Overview about it. So let's deep dive into the topics. So here agenda, I'll just try to give a brief about Microsoft Fabric agenda, how it is, and what type of an activities is going to provide. And we will try to understand the ETL process, extraction, transformation, and load process. Loading strategy and methodologies, like as I mentioned, I'm going to showcase to you how we are going to load the tables by using transaction SQL language. And I'm also going to showcase to you extracting the data from a data flow gen 2 and as well as Azure Data Factory, how we are going to build a pipeline, and on the top of it, what are the ways to schedule the data pipeline and then store these tables into the data warehouse, and then followed up with demo part as well. What is a data warehouse? As I mentioned, and every organization which is moving on currently, most of the organizations will try to maintain the current data as well as the historical data to see the reporting analysis. So front end part, it's like I want to take a view or else maybe I want to take a quick decisions based on my current sales, as well as I want to take it based on my products, how it has been doing the business. In such kind of a scenario, we are going to make use of the processing collection of information by collecting the info from different various source systems and bringing and storing on the on premises and taking the business decisions. But here I'm going to showcase to you the process of Microsoft Fabric, how it is going to work on, and what were the ways to differentiate, or else how we are going to provide those analysis. The complete overview, I'm going to share it, and reporting part also. So these tables, whatever the tables, I'm going to load it to you, how we are going to share and do the data visualizations as well. It's a most renowned topic. What is a Microsoft Fabric? It's a completely SaaS-ified, and which has been, last year, May 2023, as per the Microsoft build, this product has been launched and it is revolutionized. So where we can have to maintain different systems, and the data will be compressed and it has to be stored in the form of an columnar storage area. So instead of having the multiples duplication of information at different locations or also places, with the help of Microsoft Fabric, we can try to get rid of this. Data replications we can try to get avoided by using this Microsoft Fabric. Why? In the sense, on what basis it is going to avoid? In the sense, all the information which will be get stored in an one lake as per the architecture. Maybe I'll just try to showcase my, MS architecture, MS Microsoft architecture Fabric part in the next slide. As I mentioned, what is a Microsoft Fabric? So here, if you are observing in the simple terms, it's a cloud-based application where we can try to maintain different applications, different tools that are trying to provide, like from the data ingestion part to the data governance related. So end-to-end activities trying to provide all in one single umbrella. So most of our activities we can try to perform in Microsoft Fabric itself. So which we are observing here, Power BI to Data Factory for data ingestion, Data Activator is for like a notification and alert generation, Synapse data engineering. So where my team is having an expertise of PySpark or else R Scala, I can try to do the data ingestion, do the transformations by using Spark, Synapse data engineering part too. And data science, maybe if I have a team or else a data professionals on machine learning models, or else maybe they're very much interested with AI based related models, IoT related data, if you're trying to make use of it, Synapse data science related part also is available. And current topic is our Synapse data warehouse. So how we are going to create and load three ways of data extraction. As I mentioned, transaction SQL, and another one is an Azure data flows, and third one is an data flow Gento. So I'm going to showcase to the complete process of storing the data and trying to build the data model on the top of it. And the last but not the least, real-time analytics as well. So where we will try to see the complete time to time IoT devices based real-time analytics by using this Microsoft Fabric, which has been one more tool or persona that has been supported from the Microsoft Fabric. So how we are going to play around this Microsoft Fabric? So if you have an admin control, we can try to navigate to the admin portal. We can enable this part. We can enable it from the tenant settings part, and we can start play on this Microsoft Fabric with all the personas which I have showcased in my previous slide, like from the data ingestion to data activator and data governance also. Suppose if you don't have this one, Microsoft Fabric, Microsoft Team, they're providing a trial license, trial days with a 60 days license. 60 days trial versions. We can try to play around this, like whether it is meeting our business requirement or not, we can try to check it. So for this, we need to have an admin portal level. We have to configure. We have to enable this Microsoft Fabric option like this. So as I mentioned, the snapshot down there, enablement is there. So once we can enable, we can start playing on this, which is available in the admin portal. Suppose if there is no, I'm not able to see any admin portal level, this part means maybe if you are using your office missions, we have to check with the admin team. Otherwise, maybe if you are using your personal accounts, like personally you have configured, we can have an access, we can try to turn it on as an enablement. which they are trying to provide as a 60 days trial versions. If you're observing what is a data warehouse and how it is going to work on this, is completely fully transactional SQL languages. So where we can try to write the SQL statements, and even the part of focusing on the data preparation and analysis part, we can try to work on it. Complete setup will be placed on the Unix style, where we can try to copy and store the data in the one lake. And on the top of it, we can start enabling the SQL analytics endpoint also, where we can try to customize the table information, and we can store the data in the delta Parquet format. So which I said it as an delta Parquet format is the compressed. Maybe my file size is very huge. With the help of delta conversion of this delta Parquet file format, the file size will be get reduced or else compressed in a manner of assume that 1 GB file. If I'm using uh, SQL transaction on Microsoft Fabric level, how it is going to store in the sense, it will be get stored in the form of Parquet file format within KB's level. Then if you're observing, one lake is almost similar to an one drive for our data. So most of our laptops are as configured with a one drive, Google drives are OneDrive related. So you can try to check it, OneDrive, how we are going to store our data. So the data will be get stored in a form of an OneDrive here. So we can see all the folders that has been created for each and every individual workspaces, and we can see the folder structure and what are the activities that we have created in an OneDrive. Similarly, the data will be get stored and resides in an OneLake without any duplication. As I mentioned, understanding about ETL, extraction, transformation, and load. We can get connected to the various different source systems. It is supporting more than 100 plus data source systems for data extractions part. And further, we can try to perform the data transformations inside of it, like clean up, or else maybe I want to get rid of some unwanted columns, or maybe there is some duplication of information to validation, and also like a quality checks. We can try to do the data transformations inside of it. Load, once the extraction and transformations has been done, we have to load it. Maybe if it is a fact table means which is having the metrics and foreign key columns, we will call it as a fact. And if I'm maintaining the categorical information like a product details, product related entity, or location related entity, so those tables we can try to segregate it and we can load it onto the modeling part, semantic modeling part. Before moving on to the extraction, transformation, loading, we can try to configure the post load optimizations too. So what is this post load optimizations means? How the data will be get loaded and how we are going to bring the performance on the top of it. Maybe if my data size, as I mentioned, if it is a huge information, how we are going to do that activities. We have a parallel processing based on the scenarios. ETL processing has been parallel, like parallelly we can try to execute multiple processing flows, and where the steps will be get executed by one in the backend stage. So for clear cut idea, if you're observing the how it will be get works. So if you're observing this at the top part, extract, transformation, and load. So we can extract the data and we will perform inside the transformations by using different transformation functions, and we will load it. All this information, it will be get bi-directional. It is not a one way to store our data, and it will be get loaded into the warehouse. And after that, if you can see in the analytics pane, either the data, transactional data, which has been, we can see the data visualizations by using Power BI. Maybe if you want to bring some dashboards, quick dashboards, we can try to bring it the quick analysis or also quick dashboards by using this analytics pane, which has been already from the Microsoft Fabric. Power BI is there, where we can try to do the complete transactional level data with visualization format. As I mentioned, if you're following the data warehouse concept, most of the companies they will follow either type 1 or type 2 SCD type 2. What is this type 1? I'm not talking about the type 0 because we haven't implemented at type 0 to other than the type 1, type 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have implemented we haven't implemented, but we have those types as well. Most of the organizations will follow one or two. What is this one? Type 1, maybe I have already loaded the data and my data size is less and I don't want to maintain the historical information. I can try to overwrite the existing data. Maybe yesterday's data, I can try to overwrite it today with existing information, which is I'm not going to maintain any history because I want to day transactions I want to see in this kind of a scenario. Suppose what is the type 2? Most of the organizations, this is the one which follows. Type 2 is something I want to compare with the previous information like history data along with the current information. So in such kind of a scenario, it will be get loaded in the form of a flag or else a date key field. So add as a new record and also keeps a full history of the natural key or else a primary key related key fields, flags we can try to maintain and try to see the history as well as current data as well. So these two types we will regularly follow. Type 1 or type 2. Type 3, 4, 5, 6 we haven't used. Maybe in future, as per the requirement, business requirement, we will try to make use of it. So that's what I have mentioned. In type 2, a seated new version by using some flags or some elements, we can try to bring it by using the data warehouse, which is a older version considering the expired data. And if there is any new records, new data will be get exist with a similar name. With the help of a flag, we will try to maintain the SCD type 2. Fine. How we are going to maintain or else create the data warehouse? So if you're observing, just to take in a ZF here, we need to have a dedicated workspace if we want to get started with this data warehouse concept in Microsoft Fabric. But most of the times, instead of using the my personal workspace, we will try to make use of something but a repository. So we need to configure a dedicated workspace, and from there we can navigate and get extract the data and store that information into the warehouses. So that is what I just provided in the form of a GIF here. So though I am extracting the data pipeline, and before doing that, I'm going to showcase to you how we are going to create the data warehouse in a dedicated workspace. Fine. There are a ways to schedule the pipelines, data pipelines. So you can see on the right hand side corner, we have a different frequencies like minute by minute basis we can try to configure, or hourly basis, weekly or monthly basis we can try to configure the frequency part. So as per the data availability, we can try to configure and schedule our data pipelines also. So I'm going to showcase to you how we are going to get extract the copy data. So copy in the sense, so instead of making it as a duplicate information, the available information itself, how we are going to make use of by using a shortcut. Existing data, how I'm going to pull it into my current warehouse, which I'm going to build now. This is the one which I showcased to you. So loading the data by using transactional SQL. So I'm going to showcase to you with the TSQL format. I will create the tables and also I will load the tables with some data. Sorry. And by using the copy statement, and which is a copy assistant canvas, I'm going to load some information and get extracted and loaded into by using a data pipelines. And those pipelines I'm going to publish into the data flows law where I'm dedicated workspace, which I'm trying to convey there, the dedicated workspaces. And those tables, the copied information, it will be get reflected onto your data warehouse in Microsoft Fabric. So I'm going to showcase to you the data extraction part by creating and loading the table information using a transactional SQL. That is the first one. Second one, I'm going to showcase you with the help of via Azure Dataflow Gen 2. And third one, pipelines. So I'm going to showcase to you how I'm going to extract the data from pipelines. Let me navigate to the demo. Hope able to see. So see here, this is what I'm saying. There are ways to connect Power BI service because it's a cloud-based environment. MS Fabric is a cloud-based environment, cloud-based level. You can connect most of our news we know from Power BI app.powerbi.com. We can get connected, used to connect. Otherwise, maybe you can connect app dot or else fabric dot microsoft.com. This is also another way to get connected to the MS Fabric. So you can see the direct view of Microsoft Fabric. There are two ways, as I said. Okay, from here we can navigate to the Power BI, or these are the different personas, as I said, data factories, activator, industry solution, different tools, different portfolios that are being available. From here also we can observe those are all different tools and personas which we can try to navigate from one to another. So as I mentioned, make it work, we need to have some trial license. So currently, if you're observing Fabric trial, I'm currently using the trial release. So how we are going to get it navigate or how make it available? So here, as I mentioned, admin portal, you can see the small gear icon here. Click on this admin portal. And just try to type here, not in this above search option. You have to type it here, Fabric. You can see here, you have to enable this Microsoft Fabric so that you can start making use and you can play around it, Microsoft Fabric's part. Fine. First of all, whenever you can start working on the Microsoft Fabric related activities, we need to have a dedicated workspace. So let's try to create a dedicated workspace. Instead of using my personal workspace, we have to make use of a dedicated workspace. New workspace. I'm just giving workspace name as MS DWH. Okay. Here, if you're observing, these are the licenses, license mode. Currently, I'm using the trial license. And you can configure the storage methodology, either the small semantic model or larger semantic model. So maybe as per the data size, we can try to configure and make use of it. So I'll just make use of a small semantic model, storage format, apply. So we're trying to create a dedicated workspace, and the workspace name is MSDWH demo. So you can see a diamond symbol. This is going to be in Fabric content. So currently I'm using the Fabric trial release, trial versions. So it's in Fabric content. So how we are going to configure the data warehouse? This is the next important thing. You can see here in this particular workspace, new items. Open it. Different personas, as I mentioned, data pipeline related extraction, you want to do it like, as I mentioned, like data engineering prospects and data flow gen 2, even streaming. These are all like extractions part and further modeling designs and so on. So what I will do in the sense, I'll just try to configure with data pipeline or 1 minute. Sorry, my cursor. Yeah, let me create the warehouse first. Giving the name as, in this particular workspace, MSDWH demo, I'm creating a warehouse name. So give the name as reactor B DWH. Warehouse name I created. In the workspace, we have to get created the warehouse. So whenever, if you can start creating the warehouse, an explorer will be get generated on your left hand side. You can see creating the warehouse. On the left hand side, a explorer reactor BD will be Explorer has been get generated with a schema and security properties. So from here also we can extract the data. So instead of individual extraction and trying to do, I can extract the data, or else maybe I want to create a new tables and load the information with some table information. Or maybe as I mentioned, new data flow gen 2. I can extract it, I can inject and do the transformations, or maybe by using a pipeline, data pipeline. So I'm going to showcase you the three methods, three approaches, how I'm going to extract the data from transaction, new data flow gen 2 and data pipeline. So whenever you can create a workspace after that, if you're working on the data warehouse concept, we have to select the warehouse, new warehouse. I just given a name as this, reactor BDWH warehouse. So on the left hand side, schema and the security, like maybe if you want to implement the DB level schema or else a security part, we can try to log in configurations, we can try to configure the security here. Fine. So what I will do in the sense, as a set, I'm going to showcase you the three approaches of data extraction by using the transactional SQL, new data flow gen 2 and pipeline. Fine. I have prepared some of the statements. Let me use the transactional SQL extraction first. Select it. You can see by default create table with your schema name, database object and the table information. You can see it here. Fine. What I will do in the sense, as a set, I have prepared some of the table informations, few of the tables. I will try to execute it. The first table, let me explain this. I'm going to create a customer table with ID and customer name. Another table, these are all dimension tables. Another table is product table with SKU, stocks per unit, and product name, brand, size, and packaging. This is another dimension table. Another table is related to the city, ID, city name, region data. Last table, dimension table related to the version. As I said, version we have to maintain. If you are working on the data warehouse concept, if there is any change or else you are loading it as a new record, we have to maintain versioning here. So another table is version, ID, version number. What I will do in the sense, these four tables, I'm going to load it. Just try to load it from here, run it. It's a complete blank tables. So once those four tables has been loaded, you can see this information in your DBO schema. So DBO schema table. So these four tables with a blank structure, only with the structure information, it will be get available. So why it is taking too much time means based on the network and bandwidth speed, it will take some time to open this because we are working in the cloud part, right? So these four tables, you can see only the structure of it, not any data. We haven't loaded any data there. So in this particular schema, DBO tables information, these four tables will be get visible for us, ID, version, name. So last table is related to the version. So to configure and to maintain the data with versioning part. So fine, how we are going to load it? So for that also I have some insert statements. So let me insert some data. So in the warehouse, I'm trying to insert now. Fine. Here, I just extracted the data, right? What I will do in the sense, this one also to create the tables, to maintain the like history, right? These are the creation of the tables. I can try to rename it for the future prospect. Right click, rename here, create tables. One more statement, new statement. This is for insert. So I'm inserting some records there for all four tables, customer, product, and a city table and version table. You can see these four tables. I'm trying to execute it. If you have any queries, maybe if you have any concerns, please post it in the chat so that I can answer in the end. Let me check the data is loaded into the each and every individual table or not. You can see this first table city has been loaded with some records because I'm using some small data set. So that's why I have configured in the earlier stage itself while creating the workspace with smaller storage format. You can see here last table version. So with the help of TSQL, transaction SQL, I have loaded these four tables: city, customer, product, version. Fine. So how we are going to bring the sales? So as I said, right, I'm going to bring few more data extractions. One is transaction SQL, which just completed. Another table, assume that you have a data in some different pipeline or else a warehouse. In such scenario, how we are going to extract it? For that, as I mentioned, I'm going to extract the data via Azure pipeline. I mean, like data flow. You can see this: get data, get data. Remaining data extractions, I'm going to do it by using new data flow gen 2. Last table, I'm going to extract the data via new data pipeline. That is going to be an timetable or date table. So let's try to extract it. New data flow gen 2, select it. These four tables I have loaded via TSQL. Remaining two tables, that is sales table and date and time table. Sales is my fact, which we already discussed in the theoretical part. Fact, date is an confirmed dimension. So I'm going to extract the data. Fine. One second. Let me configure, provide the server details here. Because I'm trying to fetch it from the SSMS. So yep. Okay, the gateway is offline. Give me a minute. So sales table that is available in SSMS. So I'm trying to bring that on-premises data to my cloud to store this information into my data warehouse. Please wait. So if it is taking time means I will try to extract the another file from pipeline. I will try to extract from pipeline. Give me a minute because it's taking some time. See here, get data. So for the data flow gen 2, which my table is available in SSMS, so I had to need to have a gateway connection too, so which is still executing. So what I will do in the sense, in the meantime, I will try to get it extract by using the new data flow, the timetable. So let's try to create a pipeline name, timetable. Yeah, this is faster. So for the pipeline, you can see the lot of data extraction. So which source you want to get connected. So you can see on the left hand side, copy data frame into the data warehouse. So these are the steps we have to follow mandatorily. Choose data source, connect to the data source, which data destination you want to store that particular table, connect to the destination, and the last step is review plus save. So what I will do in the sense, I have already my table available. So timetable is available in one of the Lakehouse. So let me showcase that timetable. See here, it's loading. Select the table, which table you want to get stored or else placed into your Lakehouse. You can see here. Sales table is also available. I will try to pick this one because pipeline data flow gen 2 is taking much time. Sales table. You can see the data preview on the right hand side. Data preview here. Select next. Do you want to load it as an existing table or it is a new table? So I'm going to select it as a new table because already 4 tables are loaded. City, product, remaining 2 tables are there. I'm going to load this as a new table, new table, load it as a new table. And here, if you want to get delete any of the column or else a field, we can do that too. We can do that. Deletion of option is there. We can delete it. So next, here, enable the staging area is a mandatory. So data store type is a workspace. So you can see the complete settings from where to where we are trying to move this particular table information. Click on next. So you can see here. So from the Microsoft Fabric Lakehouse, we have created a staging area, and from this it is getting loaded onto the destination. This is the one which I have created, reactor bdwh. So it is loading to this particular warehouse. So save and run, execute it. It will take some time as per the, it is still executing. You can see here, running now. You can see a green tick mark on the top. It's in progress now. So whatever the activities we are performing, it will be get showcase on the notifications part. You can see in the top notifications, it's executing. So it is still in progress. Okay. And on the top of it, we can try to perform further more transformations and so on. So still executing. And here itself in the pipeline, whenever you can start working on the pipeline, you can see the scheduler. So as I mentioned in my presentation too, so you can see the different frequencies where we can try to schedule our pipeline. So like a minute base, hourly, weekly, and daily basis also we can try to configure. And the data sensitivity part, we can configure as per the confidentiality or else a general. So once the process is executed, you can see as I mentioned, green color with a tick mark, succeeded version. So if you can select here, You can see from where to where we are moving. So as this box, if you can try to select where to where it is trying to move from the source to the destination. If you are trying to select outside of the box, we can see the further details. So how much, like what is the input and what is the output of the file execution. So here you can try to get the more details about the input and output analysis. And maybe I want to get export this particular process as a CSV, we can export it here. Okay. So where this file is going to available now? This file is going to available, that sales table is going to available here in our data warehouse. Select it, sales table. You can see here, sales table is get loaded. It's available now. So this is the process. So as I mentioned, let's try to check. So 1 second, still executing. Otherwise, I will try to fetch this information also from, yeah, it's showcasing now. So whenever you are trying to connect the on-premises source system, the gateway should be online, up and running, so that we can try to extract, or else once the configuration is done properly, we can try to extract the data and we can pull this information into the cloud-based application. So my gateway is online now. Let's try to extract it. So see here, new data flow Gen 2. Let me extract this from SQL Server, provide the server details, because previously my gateway is offline, right? So that's why I'm not able to extract the data information from on-premises SQL Server. I'm using the privacy level with the organizational. So click on next. It will works now. It works connecting to the data source. So as I mentioned, we can extract the data from pipeline and store the table into your warehouse. And the data flow Gen 2, I'm extracting from on-premises source system to the cloud and store that particular information into the warehouse. And also I have created manually some tables by using transaction SQL. We can store that information also in warehouse. So let's try to extract the tables now. As I said, let's try to extract these two tables. Sales also available for me. Let me extract it. Create. This is important. Please observe here. So this view, whenever you are extracting the data from an data flow Gen 2, this view is common for when whoever working on the Power BI part. So it's almost similar to the Power Query Editor view, where we can see the queries on the left hand side, tables, sales table and time table, queries we will call it. Center, it's a data preview. Right hand side, whatever the transformation activities we are performing, those transformation activities we can observe. So fine, here this configuration is very important. So warehouse, so which warehouse we want to get it stored, so we have to configure this one. So instead of directly using the publish button, we have to configure which warehouse. So whenever you're trying to on hover, you can see the workspace and warehouse, but still you have to make sure that you have to update the proper destination, like which workspace and the configuration, everything. Just try to cross verify, select it, the gear icon, data destination. No need to configure here anything, warehouse only, organizational configurations, privacy level, select it. This is important. So see here, you have to select reactor BD warehouse. This is the one which I have created. Select it. These are the tables that are available. We already discussed. Uh, Already available. Okay. One. I'm just giving another name. Already sales table is there. You can see the another step. Once you choose the destination, maybe here also we can try to get rid of unwanted columns. Maybe if you want to change the data types, we can try to configure this. And there's an update like a use automatic settings, or maybe you want to perform some new transformations on the top of it, like append transformation or merge kind of an activities, we can perform that too. So I'm trying to save those two tables, sales table and time table, save the settings. Now it's time to publish these two tables into your warehouse. Select the publish. So two options here. Either you want to publish it right away or publish it later. I want to publish it right away. Select it. So whenever, if you can try to choose publish, you can see this will be get executed. The data flow Gen2 will be get executed. So once this execution has been succeeded, you can see those two tables, the two new tables into your warehouse, reactor BD warehouse. Let me navigate to the warehouse. So as of now, these tables are available: city, customer, product, sales, and version. You can see published successfully. Data flow 2 has been published successfully. So let's try to refresh it here. Refresh. You can refresh it from here, or here also we have an option to refresh. So those two tables will be get available now in this particular warehouse. See, you can see here. Just ignore this one. So you can see here sales underscore one, which I have loaded. Another table is timetable. This is a timetable. So in this way, we can try to get it extract the information from transactional SQL, pipelines, data pipelines, and Azure Data Flow Gen 2. So here we are maintaining the version to maintain the history as well as to maintain the current data as well. I mean, differentiation between the current and the previous data. Fine. So here, if you're observing down corner, very important things that we have to get know. Data view. Currently, we are observing the data view. Queries which I have executed. I have executed some of the queries like a create statement and uh, insert statement. And last one is the data modeling part. So maybe on the top of it, you want to prepare the data visualizations, or you want to start working on the modeling part, model designing, semantic designing. We can start doing that activities too. So before moving on to the semantic model design and report preparation, I'll just try to showcase to you one more important thing from via pipeline. So see here, pipeline. So I said we can use the copy method also, right? Instead of using the extraction from new source systems again, I will showcase you copy method via pipeline. So see here, whenever, if you can creating this one, close it, here it is. You can see the copy data, add to the canvas, or use the copy assistance. So if you're using what the difference here, add the copy data means we have to get it extracted fresh, and use the copy assistant in the sense maybe I have my data in my lake house and I want to bring that information into my model. I mean, maybe the warehouse here, data warehouse. In such a scenario, we can make use copy assistant. So I'll just try to bring some information here. Mm, minute. Yep. Okay. which is already available. So that's why I'm just trying to showcase you this copy method. Few minutes, and then the modeling part also I'm going to showcase to you how we are going to build the semantic design, and then I will take your queries. So as I said, it's all depends upon the network speed and the bandwidth. So these are all activities we will try to perform in day-to-day activities from our end, because we are moving onto the cloud part, right? So give me a minute. Yeah. So see here, already files are available at my end. Let me showcase one extraction by using a copy assistant method. See here, my file is in the format of Parquet file format, which is compressed fully, and it is in a columnar storage area. You can see the data preview down here. Here, you can see this. Once the data preview done, the next where you want to store the data destination, that is the step. You can see the data here. Okay. Click on next. You can see the data. Choose the destination. Where do you want to store this information? So I'll just try to store this in the warehouse, existing one or new one. So I want to store in the existing one only with the name city copy. Create it in the same one, msdwh demo city copy. So assistance will help you to extract the data already available in your OneLake, so that we can try to fetch it instead of using the duplicacy or maintain the different level of information. I mean the same information. We can try to make use of this existing copy assistance here. So load it as a new table. Yes, load it. Enable the staging. This is important. We have to enable it. You can see here from where to where it is moving. So the data is getting extracted from a Parquet file format, which has been stored in my Lakehouse, and it is creating a staging area, storing onto the created, just we have created the warehouse. So immediate transfer, the data transfer should be immediate. Try to select save and apply. So this is also going to execute once the job has been done successfully. This particular table and information is going to get available on your warehouse. So all the notifications will be get visible to you in the top. So you can see it from here. So let me navigate back. Still running. Path, I will take few minutes additional, okay? Maybe few minutes only, not more than that. Yeah. See here, run is succeeded. So if you can navigate back to your warehouse, this particular table is also going to available here, city copy. Okay. So this is the process of extracting the data from data pipelines and Azure data flows, Azure data gen flow 2, and even the transaction SQL. So let me navigate to my Lakehouse. So and trying to create the connectivity with one to another. So let's try to quickly create the connectivity. Along with these tables, we can see unwanted log file entries too. So what I will do in the sense, to get rid of these unwanted tables like session executor history, these are the log files, I will make use of a managed data flow. I mean, manage default Power BI semantic model. So just try to extract whatever the tables you need, you can try to extract it from here. So multiple tables are there. So I want few tables from here. City, I want it. Customer, product, These tables I have executed, and sales table I have loaded from pipeline timetable to version. So confirm these tables. It's as simple as easy to build the semantic model as well, connectivity between one table to the another. So see here, this is the one main fact table here. Connectivity is part. It's as simple as easy. So how we will try to do the data connectivity between one table to the another? Like that, we can easily perform the data connectivity here. Product to SKU. So one to many relationship. We can try to bring it. Customer table. So customer ID based. The drag and drop methodology. So many to one. So here the fact table is sales. Remaining all table are dimension tables. So how this data will be get stored in the semantic model means it's an direct. You can see here dots there, direct lake. So city is table, city ID to this. Two more tables there. Date. So in the cardinality part, you can see here cardinality. It will be get supported with one to many, many to one to one. There is no many to many relationship. So because we are working on the direct cloud environment basis where we have to get rid of the duplicacy, so we will try to maintain one to many to one kind of a relationship. So these tables will be get connected with each other. You can see it, the model, it is ready. So now we are ready to navigate and try to do the data visualization. So we know how we are going to do the data visualization. So Microsoft Fabric, it is providing an inbuilt Power BI application, so where we can try to navigate by using the new report and try to build the new report, Power BI report, by using or else by connecting to this data set. So we will not create any new columns, calculated columns here. We can create the new measures which will be created on this cloud based environment. And here if you want to get download this semantic model, maybe you want to make use of some other activities, we can try to download this SQL object database project objects too. So I'll try to navigate to the new report where we can see the complete preview of your Power BI view. So this is your Power BI view now with all these tables, so city, customer, product, all these 6 tables. So it's as simple as easy, like we can try to select the data visualizations like a charts and then try to build the data visualizations. So from here also, so are we going to create the new measures here? No, we have to get create, we have to navigate back to the where we have provided the connections. So there we have to navigate and try to provide the new measures creation. So not here, we don't have an option to create new measures here. We have to navigate back onto the warehouse and then we have to create the new measures there. So is there any possibility to create the new columns? Yes, we can create it in the database level, not on the uh, semantic modeling part. And if you have any queries in the meantime, we can, I'll just try to post it. Any queries? Like this, we can easily prepare the data visualizations and save it and try to, the saving part also, this is very important, where we want to store this particular pbix file. So I want to store it in the same workspace which I have created. So I can try to store this pbx file here. Report. You can save it, and from here we can start sharing it. So you, from this particular workspace, the created workspace, you can see all the things which we have created previously. The starting part, it is blank, so you can see multiple data extractions part, even the report also. So this is the complete process where we can try to store the information, and maybe in the next day, if there is any new record, will be get up here. With the help of a flag or a version control, we can try to maintain the history as well as the current data without losing the information. So if you have any queries, let me know. And what are the benefits of using this? If you're observing, it is very faster based on the network speed and bandwidth, and it is very cheaper too. And as per the workload, it will be charges. The charges will be as per the use and the allocation of the dynamic memory allocation, and it will be get configured as per the, I mean, the data source has been get configured in the use and the scripting approach. And rest of the ecosystem, you can see it. Either you can try to use the Power BI file with the direct lake mode, and further, if you want to do the further enhancement like a predictions, we have an data science related configurations to AML models. We can try to build it on the single copy of data, which is one of the reason is the cheaper, and it is very very faster. Any queries? I'm taking some additional time. Sorry for that. Any queries? Thank you. Path, you there?
Questions in the comment section. And meanwhile, we have dropped two learn modules here, which can help you to take your learning further. Please go through these learn modules. And if you have any more questions, please reach out to Rajendra over his social media platform or on LinkedIn. I think the link is posted in the description of the event. And yes, uh,
Yeah,
okay.
any questions?
I see Rajendra. We don't have any more questions coming up today.
Okay.
So let's wrap.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you, Rajendra, for doing this.
Yeah,
And
thank
thank
you,
you,
Pat.
everyone
Thank you
else
so
over there.
much. Thank you. Thank you so much, Pat. Thank you. Have a nice day.